Accord 2.0 is not coming back. Get over it. Today I'm going to show you why I love this one over here. Not too long ago, same spot, we reviewed the 10th generation Honda Accord 2.0 Sport. And today we're back with the 11th gen Accord, but not 2.0 Sport. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna comment. I can already see the comments below. I want the 2.0 Sport. And in some ways, I would agree with you, but this thing makes up a lot for the fact that we don't get the 2.0 Sport. So let's start first with the exterior. Honda has absolutely nailed the design of this thing. I don't care what people say. I don't care about the haters. Haters are gonna hate. I freaking love this thing. And I did myself a favor, didn't read a single review, didn't watch a single review about this. I just wanted to test it, drive it, and see how I felt about it. Exterior, beautiful. Starting with the front end over here. Aggressive look. I love how this is sort of flush design all the way through for the headlights. The bottom part over there too, beautiful design. The grille is more aggressive. The entire body style looks like an Audi A7 a bit. Just a bit of that sportback design. I love it. Now we have a much larger Accord, meaning it is longer, and of course it has a wider track in the back. Let's talk about the rear end of this. I love that sportback design. Very much like the 10th gen, but here is more noticeable because the way it's designed from the top all the way onto the side. The taillights have that flush design all the way through. I like that. We have the red part at the top, and then there is the white over here. The reverse light is located onto the left and the right side. But one thing I noticed as well, the Honda badge is much smaller in here. There's the Accord badge. One thing that you'll notice as well, that there is no exhaust tips at the bottom in comparison to the Sport. I was never a fan of the rear end of the 10th gen. It looked like too bulky, too much extended. I love this thing. I absolutely love how this is designed. Very luxurious and sporty at the same time. What I don't love on the outside is the wheel setup. You see, I am a fan of the ones that were in the 10th gen. They look nicer, more mature. These, yeah, I'm not feeling these, but that can be fixed. Maybe you can purchase the 10th gen wheels if you don't like these. You know, just something to make it more interesting. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. Okay, into the second row. First of all, we got heated seats here. There's a light at the top. Space-wise, you do get more space in the back because the vehicle now is, of course, as I said previously, larger. So you get more headroom. I feel comfortable here. I can easily sit in here with 2 more people. Not my height, maybe 1 more on the right side, but it's comfortable. We have the armrest in the center with 2 cup holders. I could do a long trip in this. And here's the thing, generally speaking, sedans, I'm not their biggest fan in terms of space in the second row. I love everything else about sedans, but just second row usually is very tight for me because I'm 6'2". This, on the other hand, it kind of feels like an SUV. I like that. Now, let's jump into the front because that's where it gets pretty interesting. Okay, now we're talking. Let's start it up first. The Honda welcomes you. You don't hear anything. Why? Because this is hybrid. Going to the engine specs, it is hybrid in comparison to the 2.0. Here's what I love about this. First of all, the massive screen in the center. The infotainment is beautiful, amazing design, big enough. And the other thing I love about it is the air vents. They're not the same as the Honda Civic because the design is similar to the Civic, but much nicer, more premium feeling. The dashboard feels nice. Everything, it looks really nice here. We have a heads-up display with this. Beautiful digital cluster as well with some analog features on the left side and right side. Shows your battery and then you have your fuel on the right side. I like the design. Spacious as well. I feel just a bit more space in here in comparison to the 10th gen. The center console here is nice. We got the cup holders. There's a wireless charging pad, different driving modes as well. I love the design. I love what they've done. I like these shark hammerhead style that they have in here. I like that. That looks really nice. In comparison to the Civic, the grille is black. In here, it's sort of like silver, bronze mixed together into one. I like that. It's a nice touch. But overall, the design, I'm enjoying this. I like it in comparison to the 10th gen. Now let's talk about the infotainment display. Let's get into the little details. Google Maps. So probably don't have to connect your phone at all in here. You can pretty much use this the entire time and you have Google Assistant with a map. I like that. I really like that. Easy to use, very fast. This infotainment is actually much faster than the one in the Civic and it's much, much nicer. The screen also feels nicer, more premium. It doesn't feel like cheap. Like I didn't like the one in the Civic. There's the power flow. The user interface is easy to use, very, very fast. I really like this thing. The built-in maps is awesome. You can connect your phone wirelessly. There is wireless connectivity for your Apple CarPlay and your Android. As you can see in here, you can connect your phone. Really like this, how they have just designed the entire user interface. You still get the basic apps from Honda. You can connect your phone here. There's different apps. I love the sound. Like it really reminds me like a tablet a bit or a laptop. I love this in comparison to the Civic. Very much love this. What I don't like is the fact that this doesn't come with a 360 camera. Now we are in 2023. 360 camera, come on Honda. You can do better on this. That's the only thing I'm disappointed about this thing. Other than that, I love this. This is awesome. If you go into vehicle settings, this is what I love about this. Look at that. It shows you a full 3D version of the Accords. That's a nice touch. There's a lot of settings that you can play around here. So if we go all the way to the top, we have driver assistant package. We have the heads-up display. You can turn it off or turn it on. Right now it is turned on, although I couldn't find the settings to play around with it and change the position. Then you have your road departure mitigation to normal, lane keeping assist, blind spot assist as well, traffic sign recognition, driver assistant monitor. So basically, if you lose control, you're falling asleep, the car will be like, hey, wake up. There's a forward collision warning as well. You can increase, decrease that. Go back, there's more settings you can play around. Meter heads-up display. Look at that, manually reset. There's a adjust outside temperature display, fuel efficiency, backlight. There's so much you can play around here. There's also lighting setup. So how long you want the lights to stay on, the auto high beams as well. They move on to the door setup. So in here, how you want your doors, like walk away, auto lock. I actually want to turn this on because I love that. And there's other settings you can play around. If you go back, there's a climate control unit, driver seat automatic climate control, passenger seat automatic climate control. There's so much more here, and you can have your own individual settings for the driving mode. So you want the powertrain into sports, then you have your steering, then you have your gauge, ACC, Let's do gauge into sport. It changes the design, the layout, the basic stuff that you'd find in other cars. But I like how they have designed this separately so that you have access to all the settings, so you don't have to go through one by one into the main one. You go all the way here, vehicle settings, and it shows you everything like that. If you have seen reviews of the Honda Civic, this is not extremely different to that. You can customize the display, as you can see, display content, a lot of things that you can play around here. If we go back into that, we can see here there's a smartphone as well. It will show you some of the stuff from the smartphone. You have your radio, just the little details, nothing crazy. I don't mind this. It just shows you whatever you need to know. On the right side, you have your speedometer. There's your range. Look at that. We get 702 kilometers of range, which is combined petrol and battery. But if you look carefully, it's getting about 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That is very, very impressive. For a sedan this size, I like that. Now it's time to go for a drive, and let's talk about how this thing handles on the roads. But let's do a launch control first. I'm gonna put this into sport mode. I turn off the EV parts. I have pedal to the metal, gas all the way through, and you got two engine options. There is a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, or the one that we have for today's video, which is a 2 liter 4-cylinder hybrid. Combined horsepower, 204 brake horsepower. And of course, there is no more 2.0 Sport, the famous with a 10-speed automatic transmission, because now we have a CVT or an eCVT, because you have to have the transmission when you have a combination between ICE and the electric motors, which this comes with two. There's no all-wheel drive option, there's no stick shift, there's only front-wheel drive. Price-wise, in Canada, base model starts at $38,000, can go up to $47,000 Canadian. In the US, you're looking at about $32,000 all the way to $45,000 or so, depends on the trims, almost $44,000 for the higher trim. So there is the Sports Hybrid and the Touring Hybrid. The one that we're driving today is the Touring Hybrid. I love this car. It's an unpopular opinion, especially for the 2.0 fans. I understand. I am with you on that. Yes, it's disappointing. But here's the thing though. These cars are not really meant for drag racing, although we do use them for drag race, but they're not really meant for that. I understand that people bought the 2.0 to tune, modify, and have some fun with. It did have some similarities with the Type R engine. That's not the point of this car though. This vehicle is made for your day-to-day use, for comfort, for long trips, and amazing fuel efficiency. It gets 51 miles to the gallon or so. I'm getting 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That is impressive. You can fit in 5 people comfortably in this. Honda says that they have tweaked the suspension system, the steering as well, to make it more comfortable, to ride better. And the cabin noise is far better than the previous model, in my opinion. This is quiet on the inside. They've done a fantastic job with the ride, with the way it handles on the road, the tech features fully loaded. I wish it had a full panoramic roof. That would be nice. It just has a standard one. Manual, of course, for the sunshade. I don't mind this not being a 2.0, because what I love the most is how it looks on the road, and just the way it's designed on the interior is so spacious. I really like this. I was expecting to not like this because of that 2.0, but the amount of things that they have improved in this in comparison to the 10th gen justifies not having that 2.0 Sport. I know it's hard to say that, especially for someone that has drag raced the Sport Accord so many times. I just think that it's about time to move on to something else that is more fuel efficient. I don't like the fact that it's CVT, I'll give you that, but I also don't mind it. It doesn't feel like a CVT. I know it is a CVT. This one specific is an eCVT. The power in comparison to the 2.0, it's not huge actually. Yes, it's not the same horsepower, but I don't feel that massive difference. It actually feels lighter than the Accord 2.0 Sport. I haven't driven the 1.5 liter yet, but I'm enjoying this hybrid. I like how this thing looks. I like how it drives. So far, for a sedan under 50K Canadian, I really enjoy this. There's very few things that I don't like about it. Other than that, just the things that I mentioned previously, they have done a great job. Like, I'm not a big fan of the CR-V. I haven't driven the Civic Type R yet. The Civic, I did not like it. The standard Civic, didn't like it. Didn't like the infotainment display. Didn't like the way it drove. Didn't like the engine. They have done a terrific job with this. In fact, I would take this over the TLX.